Welcome back to the Chattable podcast, where enrich vocabulary and speak English with pride. Imagine standing in front of a really desperate, hungry crowd hundreds of years ago. You just have a single basket of bread to share.
Right, or picture yourself on a chaotic, ancient battlefield, staring down an enemy sword, just calculating your only path to survival.
Exactly. And today, we are exploring how those life or death decisions from the distant past actually became casual English phrases that you use every single day.
Yeah, we are looking at two very specific phrases this episode. One describes how we distribute resources to others, and the other is about how we protect ourselves from incoming threats.
And to use them correctly today, you really have to understand the centuries of human survival hiding behind them.
You really do.
So let us start with the outward flow of resources.
Yep.
The first phrase is dole out. That is spelled D-O-L-E, and then the word out. Dole out.
Right. And in modern English, this just means to give, distribute, or share things with a group of people.
But it carries a very specific restriction, right?
It does, yeah. You must distribute the items in small, carefully measured amounts, and usually over a period of time.
Okay, so why the careful measurement part? Why can we not just say give?
Well, that is the fascinating part. We have to look at the Middle English word dole, spelled D-O-L.
It says D-O-L.
Exactly. Centuries ago, a dole simply meant a share, or like a fraction or portion of something larger.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but over time, that noun kind of evolved into a physical event. A dole became a formal, highly organized charity handout.
Right, because I am thinking about a medieval village during a harsh winter, and resources were incredibly scarce.
Absolutely.
So if a wealthy community leader or maybe the local church decided to share food or clothing, they were organizing a dole.
Yes, and you have to imagine the logistics of that moment. You have a large crowd of hungry people and a very limited amount of bread or grain.
You cannot just throw the food into the middle of the crowd.
No, of course not.
Because that would instantly cause a riot. The strongest people would hoard everything, and the weakest would get nothing at all.
Exactly. The entire purpose of the charity would just be defeated by chaos. So the organizers had to establish strict physical control.
How did they do that?
Well, a person in authority would stand before the crowd, usually behind a table or some kind of barrier, and they would methodically measure out the flour or break the bread, handing it to one person at a time.
So they were actively ensuring that every single individual received an equal, fair portion.
Right. That specific physical act, the measuring, restricting, and distributing piece by piece, is the fundamental action of doling something out.
It is basically about maintaining order through portion control. And we actually see this exact same mechanism today during modern crises.
Oh, for sure. Like when a natural disaster strikes.
Yeah, exactly. A government agency steps in to help, but they do not just park a truck of supplies and walk away.
No, they set up lines. They check IDs.
Right. They dole out emergency relief funds, or they distribute cases of bottled water one family at a time, just to ensure the limited resource serves the entire community.
The scale is vastly different from a medieval village, but the human behavior is exactly the same. You are managing a scarce resource to prevent chaos.
But we also use this phrase in much lower stakes, everyday scenarios, right? The resource does not have to be essential for survival.
Oh, definitely not. It just has to be limited and controlled.
Like, think about a modern elementary school classroom. A teacher has a large plastic bag filled with tiny, squishy animal toys.
Kids love those.
They really do. And she wants her students to focus on reading a challenging book or maybe finishing a difficult math assignment. So she uses the toys as an incentive.
She is essentially setting up a modern-day reward system.
Exactly. But notice her method. She does not hand the entire bag of toys to the class clown.
Right.
She does not dump the bag out onto her desk and tell the kids to grab what they want. She controls the flow. She doles them out.
Ah, I see. So a student finishes a math worksheet and they receive one small toy.
Yep. They read a chapter quietly. They receive another small toy. She is releasing the resource in small, measured amounts over the course of the week.
It is a highly effective way to stretch the value of a limited resource. The toys maintain their value because the teacher restricted the supply.
Right.
And we also see this kind of portion control in completely casual settings, even without an authority figure.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, consider a man named Oliver sitting on a park bench on a Sunday afternoon. He has a loaf of stale bread, and there is a flock of ducks swimming in the pond right in front of him.
Okay, so Oliver is acting as the distributor.
Exactly. He tears off a tiny piece of the bread and tosses it to the ducks. He waits a moment, tears off another small piece and tosses it in a different direction.
To reach a different duck.
Right. He is doling out the bread. The ducks represent the chaotic crowd. The loaf of bread is the limited resource. And Oliver is the one carefully managing the portions.
Just to ensure the ducks do not swarm him all at once.
Exactly.
Wait, so if the core rule is just about giving something away from your own supply, what if the size of the gift changes?
What do you mean?
Let us say my friend Lucas has a brother who desperately needs a vehicle for a new job. Lucas has a lot of savings, so he goes to a dealership, buys a massive brand new truck, and simply hands the keys to his brother. Is Lucas doling out a truck?
No, he is not. And that distinction highlights the absolute boundary of this phrase.
Okay.
You cannot use dole out to describe a single massive transfer of wealth or a single large gift given all at once. The phrase strictly requires the act of division.
Because there is no portion control happening with a single truck.
Correct. Lucas is just giving a very generous gift.
That makes sense.
For the phrase to work, the resource must be broken into parts, and those parts must be given over a period of time, usually to multiple recipients.
So you can dole out Halloween candy to trick-or-treaters at your door.
Yes, exactly. Or a project manager can dole out small, manageable tasks to a corporate team.
Or even doling out advice to a friend, giving them little pieces of wisdom over several hours.
Yes, but you cannot dole out a single undivided object.
Okay, so doling out is entirely about how we manage the flow of our resources outward into the world. It is about establishing a boundary where you control what leaves your possession.
Beautifully said.
Which naturally brings us to a fascinating flip side of the coin. If doling out is the careful management of what we send outward, how do we describe the way we manage the unwanted things trying to come inward toward us?
That concept of inward boundary management brings us to our second phrase, ward off.
Ward off. That is spelled W-A-R-D, and then the word off.
Right. In modern usage, it means to successfully block, repel, or protect yourself from an unwanted problem, a severe illness, or a hostile person. You are keeping them far away from your personal space.
And the history behind this phrase is incredibly intense.
It really is. We are moving from the calm, controlled environment of a medieval charity line straight onto the mud of an ancient battlefield.
Wow. Okay, paint that picture for me.
Well, the roots of ward-off lie in historical European martial arts, specifically ancient sword fighting and the tactical use of military shields.
Like old knights and soldiers.
Exactly. If you look at Old English, the word weird referred to the act of guarding or watching over something. In the context of a physical fight, a ward was a highly specific, physical, defensive stance.
Right, so when a fighter stepped onto the battlefield, they did not just stand there holding a shield loosely at their side.
Definitely not. They raised their weapon or their shield into a calculated guard position. That position was their ward.
And this is where the mechanics of the phrase become so vivid. To ward off an enemy meant you actively use your physical ward, your shield or your sword, to deflect an incoming blow.
Exactly. It is not passive.
You are not just hiding behind a wall hoping the attack stops.
No, it is a dynamic physical action. If an enemy swings a heavy blade toward your shoulder, you angle your shield to catch the strike, and you physically push the attacker's weapon away.
You redirect their violent energy outward so it cannot harm you.
Yes. You have successfully warded off the attack.
The visualization of deflecting an incoming threat is so powerful. It translates perfectly into how we use the phrase metaphorically today.
It really does. Even though we are not carrying heavy wooden shields in modern society, we are constantly dealing with incoming threats that we need to deflect.
Right. I am thinking of a very common everyday battle, especially when it comes to our health. Our immune system acts as a biological shield.
Oh, that is a great example.
Yeah, imagine a woman named Sophia. She lives in a city with a harsh, freezing winter, and everyone in her office building is coughing and catching terrible winter colds.
The viruses are constantly circulating in the air around her.
Exactly. But Sophia has a very strict daily routine. Every single morning and every single night, she drinks a large cup of hot green tea loaded with fresh lemon and raw honey.
Nice.
She also gets 8 hours of sleep, and she washes her hands constantly.
So Sophia is raising her shield. She is taking these preventative active measures to build up her immune system.
Right, so that when the cold virus tries to enter her body, her system can deflect it. She is drinking the tea to ward off the winter cold.
She is pushing the illness away before it can take root in her lungs. It is a perfect use of the phrase because it highlights the preventative nature of a ward.
Are there other modern scenarios where we see this?
Oh, absolutely. We use that same preventative shield when dealing with personal boundaries and annoying situations. Parenting actually requires a lot of warding off.
Oh, I can imagine.
Let us look at a young boy named Noah. Noah is 10 years old, and he desperately wants a new video game console. He complains to his parents that every single one of his friends has a console at home.
Typical 10-year-old behavior.
Very typical. He asks for it before school, he asks for it during dinner, and he asks for it before bed.
It is a relentless incoming attack on the parents' peace and quiet.
It is. But Noah's parents have read extensive research about the dangers of screen time addiction, and they have made a firm household rule. They are not buying the console.
What do they do?
Well, every time Noah initiates the argument, his parents have to raise their metaphorical shield. They calmly state their rule, they refuse to engage in a shouting match, and they change the subject.
They're deflecting his attempts to break their rule.
Yes. By holding their ground and refusing to give in, they are successfully warding off his constant requests. They are protecting the boundary of their household rules.
Let me test the strict boundaries of this phrase, just like we did with the truck example earlier. Let us return to the health scenario for a second.
Okay.
Suppose we have a guy named Liam. Liam did not drink the hot tea with lemon. He caught the bug.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he is currently lying in his bed with a 102-degree fever. He is shivering, coughing aggressively, and his entire body aches. Is Liam currently warding off the flu?
No, absolutely not. And this is the single most important rule to remember when you use this phrase.
What is the rule?
You cannot ward off something that has already successfully breached your defenses and is currently happening to you.
Oh, I see. To use the medieval battlefield metaphor, the enemy's sword has already cut you. The shield failed.
That is the exact logic. If you are actively bleeding from a sword strike, you are no longer warding off the blade. You are injured.
Right.
In Liam's case, the flu virus has already invaded his cells. He is currently suffering from the flu, or his body is fighting the flu, but he can no longer ward it off. The window for warding off an event closes the exact second the event actually begins.
It is strictly a preventative defense.
Always. You wear strong bug spray to ward off mosquitoes before you walk into the forest.
Right.
You turn off your phone notifications to ward off distractions before you sit down to study.
Makes total sense.
It is always about preventing the blow from landing. Furthermore, you only ever ward off things that are negative or unwanted.
Right. You would never ward off a promotion at work.
Exactly, and you would never ward off a surprise birthday party from your friends.
Well, I mean, unless you really hate surprise parties, in which case you might try to ward it off by locking your front door.
Fair point. But the core rule remains. The object being warded off must be perceived as a threat or a nuisance.
So when we zoom out and look at the language we have unpacked in this episode, we are really looking at two fundamental ways humans manage their space.
Yes, physical and emotional space.
Dole out provides you with vocabulary to describe the careful, measured sharing of the resources you control, like visualizing a medieval leader distributing flour or a modern government agency handing out emergency water.
Or even a teacher using squishy toys to motivate her students.
Right. You were talking about maintaining order by controlling what goes out.
And then ward off provides you with the vocabulary to describe the shields you raise to protect yourself.
It allows you to articulate how you block unwanted things before they arrive. Putting up an active defense against a nasty winter cold or a child's relentless demands for a video game.
Exactly. You are managing the threats coming in.
We want you to start actively looking for opportunities in your daily routine to practice these phrases.
Definitely. When you are carefully pouring small, equal amounts of juice into cups for your children, tell yourself, I am doling out the juice.
Or when you intentionally cross the street to avoid walking past a loud, dusty construction site, tell yourself, I am warding off a headache.
The more you apply these phrases to your immediate physical reality, the more natural they will feel in your daily conversations.
And visualize the rich physical histories behind the words when you use them. English is not just a sterile list of vocabulary definitions to be memorized.
Not at all. It is a living, breathing record of human survival.
That is the perfect note to leave you on today. We want you to carry this final thought with you as you go about the rest of your day.
What is it?
When you speak English, you are not just making random sounds to get what you need in the present moment. With every sentence you construct, you are carrying forward the hidden history of ancient, exhausted sword fighters angling their shields to survive another day.
And medieval charity workers carefully breaking bread to keep their village alive.
Exactly. The dramatic history of the world is hiding right there inside your mouth, waiting to be spoken. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.